All right, guys, we are here with Michael Huffman. Michael has some really neat things going on. He has a couple businesses, one that's newly launched, and then one that he's been doing for a while now. So we're going to kind of dig into the origin of both of those, and there's a really cool story of kind of the opportunity that he saw, and then what he's done with it. So, Michael, thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Kevin.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with your main thing, and then we'll get into the opportunity that you saw and what you're doing with that. So, what is your main source of income, your main gig right now?
Yeah, I mean, my main source has been actually, it's changed a little bit, but it was consulting for sales teams and basically building out their sales processes, helping build out their sales teams. So, really being kind of a sales director on the online education space.
Okay, so what does that look like? It's maybe a coach has a course or a platform or something where they need a team of sales representatives to be setters and closers, right?
Exactly. So, it's someone that's looking at scaling their actual sales teams and their reach. So, they need more setters, they need more closers, they need those SOPs put in, need some marketing ideas, all the kind of fun stuff to actually grow their offer. And usually they're running paid media. So, we're able to kind of scale that. And when that scales up, we're also building out the teams.
Okay, so what would be like a minimal level for maybe somebody out there that they have a course, they're a coach, maybe they have like one or two people that are working for them at this point. What's a good level of maybe monthly income or gross or annual, something that you would recommend they now need you?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when you're ready to scale, you have more leads coming in that you can't touch quite enough and that you're not actually able to get enough revenue per lead. So, you're paying for each lead you get, and then there's a certain value to that lead, and you're just not being able to have that reach there. Usually above when you're about need about four salespeople or more. That's kind of the point at when we can come in and bring in some of the larger strategies of outbound marketing directly to your consumer, whether that's calls or there's a couple different processes we can bring in there.
Okay, and are the sales team, they belong to you then, right?
Yeah, so I help consult and
Okay.
just bring that team in, so you actually have an in-house sales team.
Okay, so you're helping them hire, and are you helping them train specifically for that business that you're consulting with?
Exactly. So
Okay.
it's kind of a full sales process there, putting in their SOPs, helping them actually build that culture inside of their sales teams. A lot of the biggest thing is actually believing in that conviction when you're going through that sales process with your sales team. So having them actually understand the product, believe in the product, all those kind of actually core principles.
Okay, that's super cool. Do you take a percentage of sales, or do you have a like a monthly fee for running that team? Once that team is set up, are you done, or yeah, how's that work?
Yeah, I mean, everything kind of works how the business owner needs it to, right?
Okay,
So if
yeah.
they're just looking for kind of a one and done, or if they're looking for that constant consultation, that can kind of be figured out. Love to partner with businesses, yeah, of course. So everyone's invested, right? Everyone's invested in that success.
Yeah, I like that. You got to stay fluid because if you have a cut and dry, this is my offer, there's so many opportunities that you'll miss. It's like John and I were talking just yesterday. He was able to set up something cool with like his consultations and getting equity in a storage facility, right? And
Yeah.
so different, like staying open to that, that's really cool. One of the biggest problems that you see people have when they're talking to you because right they're trying to grow their business. What's that biggest problem that you're seeing?
Yeah. So the biggest objective that we were just seeing for business owners or for clients coming into their actual offers was, always the elephant in the room, the money,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of, being able to scale their own business, being able to start a business. So that's where we saw a major hole in the floor that needed to be filled. And that's where we saw a opportunity to be able to offer new businesses and existing businesses funding. So that was kind of a niche that we were able to come into pretty quickly.
Okay, so how long have you been running your sales consultation?
Yeah, so that's been about 4 years.
Okay, and so over these 4 years, you kept seeing this issue come up or this need come up with the people that you've been working with where they're trying to grow and so they need more money, right?
Yeah.
We all kind of hit that at one point.
Yeah.
And so you recognized that. How did that come to be from recognizing the need and then taking action on starting what you have now?
Yeah, I mean, it was all the way from the business owner needing funding to grow their offer to the clients they were bringing in. So it kind of went around of trying to figure out the perfect process and how to be able to help them scale correctly. But it was also something that I had been using that I didn't even realize that other business owners didn't know about, right? It was kind of that one where like you don't know what you don't know. And I didn't realize that other people didn't know about 0% funding and being able to scale their business with that. And that had been a process that I'd start businesses, scale businesses, sold some businesses because I took businesses and scaled them that way.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing that need for business owners and then being able to say, okay, hey, if we're able to get businesses 50,000 to 250,000 at 0% interest, where does that allow businesses to grow and how much does that help them? It's just everyone's opportunity to be able to start that business, but everyone needs that funding to get started, to scale. It's the hardest thing in the world
Mm-hmm.
to do if you don't have funding, if you can't, put some dollars into your advertising or buy the equipment that you need. So that's where we saw that issue for business owners.
Okay, so whether you're trying to start a business, you're trying to scale a business, you're trying to buy a business, regardless of which one that is, you are able to help any one of those in that.
Yeah. So what we're able to do is we're able to here's kind of the breakdown of what we do for a business owner is, let's say you're looking at starting, like you said, starting from zero,
Mm-hmm.
or you have an already established business. So what we can do is we can go get you 0% funding for 12 to 18 months. Okay. With that, between 50 and $250,000, kind of depends how much you need, of course, to grow your business. And we're actually going to go do that for you. So it's a done for you service. Okay. That way you can focus on your business, right? We focus on going and getting funding for you. That's our specialty. And all you need is really over a 700 credit score. Okay. There's no docs. There's no W-2. We don't need any W-2s. We don't need any income statements from your business. We don't need any of that. You could start an LLC tomorrow and we could get you funded tomorrow. You need two primary lines personally. So maybe you have a Visa and a Discover. Okay. And then what the next step is just having an under 30% utilization of your own personal credit, because that's actually what banks are going to look at when you're starting this business, right? That's kind of what they underwrite there. Then what we're able to do is, so we build out an optimization, we build out a funding plan. Okay, so that optimization is, if you have any hard inquiries or anything like that, we're going to build out that plan. Then we're going to go to our funding specialist. We're going to start getting you funded. So we go directly to our business relations to get you that funding. Normally, when you apply, you may get approved for 10 or 12,000. We're able to go to those business relations because we're going directly to them. We kind of get to go. That underwriting process is personal instead of impersonal, and you run it through an algorithm. If you were to submit, where we actually take it personally to them, and when they do that underwriting, they're able to approve you for 50 to 75,000 per each bank, and we're able to stack those up. And that's how we're able to get you those large credit lines to get started and scale and just grow your business.
Oh, that's awesome. I had no idea that this business concept even existed. Like, I know that there's capital raisers and everything like that, but just the way that you guys position your offer, and I don't know if you're able to go into it further, but the requirements you were saying, just a good credit score, you're looking at financial history and everything, and then, but how, again, whatever you can dive into, but
Yeah.
how are you getting paid in this?
Great question.
Yeah.
So I actually built this business how I wanted to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got pretty tired of people just asking me for a whole bunch of money up front every time. Right. And then they wouldn't perform. And then I got to chase them down for 6 months trying to get my money back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that for myself. I don't want to do that for clients. So we charge nothing up front. We just do a success fee on the back end. And that's 10% of whatever we get you funded for.
Okay. So, and maybe we're getting too basic here, but I want to understand exactly how you started this, right? So you have this sales consultation going, you see this opportunity. Do you have a background in lending or funding or capital raising? And if so, what was that? And now you have this idea, right? You're like, oh, okay, I see this need. There's an opportunity. I need to take action on that. What did you do first to launch it? Because you just launched it and you already have like 50 clients, right?
Yeah. So we're working with 50 clients in our first 3 weeks here.
Wow.
We launched, we noticed a need right away. and we're on our own side of scaling the business, right? And performing and building out our SOPs and making sure there's always contact with every customer. We've built out back ends of where they actually have a portal to know exactly where you're at in the funding process, because communication is key in business. I truly believe that. That's the link, right? You have your sales, you have your communication, and you have your fulfillment, right? Those are kind of your key principles of any business. So with that, we saw that businesses needed funding from the beginning, right? That's always the key. That's always the elephant in the room of every business we talk to as well. I wish I had the money to get started. And we don't want that from stopping anyone. So, I started a couple businesses even back in 2016, a couple e-commerce businesses. I was using this strategy, and people were wondering, how I was kind of scaling some of these e-commerce businesses up to, a couple $100,000 a month within a couple months. And I didn't have the liquidity to do that, but I was able to use basically other people's capital, right? We're able to use banks' capital to do that and grow that business very quickly. So I was able to do that and be able to create cash flow from these businesses. I was able to sell a business this way. I was able to do real estate. I even flip homes using this product myself. I use it all the way from putting the money down on the property to actually doing the rehab. So this product can be used from e-commerce to maybe you need a backhoe for your construction company, or maybe you're looking at flipping homes and you just don't have the capital to get started.
Awesome. Okay, so what I'm hearing is you've spent a handful of years developing really important relationships and building out a network of banks, lenders, all of this that you've used for yourself.
Correct.
Right? So you've built up this resume, this tool belt of these places where you've gotten funding, and then you recognized a need that others were having, and you're like, oh, this is a skill set, this is a knowledge that I have. People need this, I've needed this. How could I make this business into something that I would want to be part of, that I would want to work with, right?
Exactly.
And this is where it came.
Yep. Always build, we go under that core principle of build a business how you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the basic rules that we go through, from, how you want to be paid to how you want to be talked to, how you want to be treated, what communication lines you want. And then we kind of really built that backwards, right? So we built first the fulfillment and the communication and the customer service, and now we're starting to bring on customers.
Awesome. Okay. What's the next step? So, 3 weeks in now, you're already seeing some traction, which shows like there's really a need for this. Where do you see yourself at a year mark? And then let's go maybe 3 years down the line.
Our goal as we've been going has kind of gotten larger and larger. We've kind of set the goalpost back. It is always kind of amazing sometimes when you set it too close, then you kind of go, I just underestimate myself sometimes, right? We all do that. So, we'd like to fund over $200 million. That's a goal we have in the first year. So that would be a really, really cool thing for our clients to be able to get that many businesses started. This is a product for U.S. residents, and that is truly how America's made, is through small businesses. So that's something that's really cool. We want to see more small businesses being able to get started, funded. So that's our goal there, is to fund $200 million in our first year, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Awesome. Okay, last question, because I feel like you are someone that really appreciates continuing education. Just the different things that you've talked about, like you've done the work. What book or audiobook are you going through right now?
Oh man, you're talking to one of the most dyslexic guys out there. Okay. I actually love AJ Osborne's podcast about self-storage. My First Million is another great podcast. I do listen to audiobooks, but actually sometimes like The One Thing is another audiobook that I listen to, of where kind of your focus goes, is where your results come from. So yeah, I mainly listen to my books, if that makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, I'm all about it. Where can people get in touch with you personally, and then your business?
Absolutely. So Credit Funding Now, you can creditfundingnow.com. You can find myself, Michael Huffman, on LinkedIn. Great place to reach out to me is right there. So yeah, come and find us. We'd love to get your business funded.